She closed her eyes in the cold holding her child, but woke in the arms of a human savior. The wind was a knife that did not stop cutting. Lyra held her child to her chest, the small body wrapped in a threadbare thermal shawl that had lost its charge hours ago. Snow climbed her calves like hands. The white wasteland of the ice moon Isala stretched on all sides, unbroken except for a smear of gray sky and the black dots of distant pylons. Nairai's breath fluttered against Lyra's collarbone. Too quick, too shallow. "We're almost there," Lyra whispered, though there was no there to point to, only the echoing cry of the storm. Her kind could see heat as a soft glow. Now even that sense failed her, the world sinking into uniform cold. When her knees buckled, she turned so that her fall would not crush the child. Snow took them into its soundless mouth. She closed her eyes, pressing a kiss to Nairai's forehead. One heartbeat. Then a third, heavy and slow like a door being shut. "Hey!" A voice punched through the wind. Snow thudded aside. Warmth, sudden, blinding, bloomed at her back as a thermal blanket cocooned them both. Lyra's eyes opened to a shadow rimmed by frost, a visor lifted to reveal a human's face, stung red by the cold and creased with worry. "I've got you," he said. He slipped a heater pack between her and Nairai, then slid his arms beneath them with practiced care. "Name's Jonah. Don't pass out yet. Breathe with me." She tried to protest, but her lips answered with a hiss instead of words. He moved quickly, securing them to a sled with a flex harness, his hands sure and gentle. The sled hummed to life, pulling them across the frozen plain. Lyra clung to Nairai and to the rhythm of the sled's engine. Beneath the blanket, a pocket of heat gathered, and she tasted iron as sensation returned to her fingers. They reached a low, half-buried structure ringed with spin turbines like skeletal trees. A door irised open. Warmth spilled out, a miracle in the white. Jonah hauled them inside, sealed the door, and scrubbed the ice from the control panel with his sleeve. "Med kit," he muttered, tossing open a locker. "Hey, little star," he said to Nairai, slow, gentle syllables. "We're going to fix that breathing." He foamed a warming gel over Nairai's chest, wrapped her in a fresh thermal, and slid a heater coil beneath her. A soft light pulsed as the medfoam's microcells did their work. He checked Lyra's eyes with a penlight, brow furrowing. "Severe exposure, but you're stubborn." "Stubborn lives." "I can pay," Lyra managed, her voice a reed. "I will work. We just needed." Her throat clenched. Jonah shook his head. "You don't owe me for not dying." He poured water into a cup and held it for her. "Who's after you?" Her eyes flicked toward the door. "Raiders took apart our transport. We ran. Sanctuary at Port Dawn. They said there was a chance." Jonah's jaw worked. "There is. But the raiders monitor the plane and the storm's boosting their scanners." He scrubbed a hand over his face, then glanced at Nairai's color, already warming. "We'll make a run at first dark. Easier to hide heat signatures." "We?" Lyra asked. "We?" He met her gaze. "I'm not sending you out there alone." Hours folded around them. Soup simmering on a small coil, the hiss of thawing gear, Nairai's breathing settling into something small and stubbornly alive. Lyra studied the human shelter, a cramped module patched with old ship plating and a wall of worn tools hung with the commitment of someone who repaired more than he broke. In one corner, a faded photograph of a woman and 2 children was taped beside a map. Lyra looked away, heat of another kind pricking her cheeks. "You lost them?" she asked quietly. Jonah followed her gaze and nodded. "Years back on Terra. Fever came through and took what it wanted." He pulled on a fresh heater coil with rough tenderness. After that, I learned to keep people breathing. It didn't fix what I lost, but it changes how I move through the world. Lyra swallowed. My people say grief is a second heart. It beats alongside the first. It's heavy, but it is proof you lived. Her fingertips brushed Nairai's hair. She is all I have left. Jonah smiled with one corner of his mouth. Then let's keep both hearts going. They left at first dark, when the sky passed from iron to blue-black. Jonah loaded the sled with a compact generator and a decoy emitter to mislead thermal scans. Lyra took the rear, her senses attuned to the subtle crack and hum beneath the ice. Tell me where the ground is thin, Jonah said. I'll handle the rest. They moved. Snow feathered off the runners in quiet fans. Once, a drone's red eye combed the plain behind them. Jonah threw a flare into a ravine. The drone veered after the false heat like a curious moth. Left, Lyra whispered, hearing ice sing, a warning. There's a hollow. Jonah adjusted without argument. The sled banked around a boulder half swallowed by a dune of frost. Lyra clutched the sled rail and traced the bead of Nairai's breath with her thumb. A shadow unspooled ahead, the broken span of an old service bridge over a fissure that split the plain like a wound. Jonah cut power and listened. The wind hissed through the gap. On the far side, Port Dawn's outer lights were a smudge of gold. We can't go around, he asked. Not before the drones return, Lyra said, voice steady. The ice to the south is rotten. Jonah breathed once, then slung Nairai into a sling over his chest. We walk. The bridge protested underfoot. Plates flexed. Lyra went first, her feet finding places where the metal still remembered strength. Midway, a gust all but lifted them. Jonah dropped to one knee, arm snapping out. Lyra seized his wrist and pulled, tendons straining. For a moment they hung between two kinds of falling. The bridge groaned and then held. On the far side, the sled's engine coughed back to life. They surged toward the sanctuary's lights. A siren hooped. A patrol drone, closer this time, rising like a new moon from the ice. Down, Jonah barked, swinging the decoy emitter out and angling it toward the old bridge. He kicked the sled to full and sent the decoy the opposite way. The drone chased the bigger, hotter lie. Jonah laughed. Once bright and boyish. Go eat that, you scrap. The outer gate loomed. A voice crackled over the speaker. Identify. Jonah sawed, he answered. 2 refugees. 1 minor. Medical need. Port Dawn's quota. Open the gate, Jonah said, the softness gone from his voice. Or I'll cut power to your west turbine tomorrow and we'll see how your heating likes the dark. Silence. Then the gate sighed open. Inside, warmth washed them clean of the night. Medics took Nairai gently. A doctor with steady hands checked her eyes and smiled. She's going to be fine, the doctor said. Lyra's knees gave, and Jonah's hand was there, a simple, solid thing. Later, in a quiet corner of the intake hall, Lyra unwrapped a small ribbon from the hem of her shawl, woven in the colors of her village, the last unbroken thread from home. She tied it around Jonah's wrist. What's this? He asked, voice hushed. A promise, she said. Where I come from, we tie a thread to those who pull us back from the dark. It means our paths are bound for a while. If you call, I will answer. If you need, I will come. Jonah looked at the ribbon, then at her. His smile was not bright, but it was true. Then I'll keep it, he said. And I hope you won't need to answer for anything but a shared meal.